let's talk about forms. Forms. Hey guys, I can't tell you enough about this Switchpod. I really like it. It's probably my new favorite gadget. It makes it so easy to move around. Forget the Gorilla Pod. Let me show you where my Gorilla Pod is right now. Look at that. That's where I keep it now. I don't even need it. Hey guys, Oscar here for Notagrouch, notagrouch.com. I'm trying a new setup. If it's too shaky, I apologize. But I think I found a spot to put my camera where it's in a safe spot, and I can use my DSLR. Now I just have to see if the lighting is good. Because you know something that is interesting about phones and cameras is that the phones are very smart. Phones know, hey, that's a really bright background, but that's not my subject, so I'm going to actually focus somewhere else, and I'm going to light up the subject and keep the light on the background. There's a whole video about it. I'll put a link down below, but in any case, let's talk about forms. Forms are an essential part of interactive websites, and most people don't realize this until they need a form. And even when they have a form, they don't think about it from a perspective of a developer or a programmer like I do, or like maybe you do if you build websites. So I want to tell you about three plugins that help you set up your forms on WordPress. Now, before I get into it, what can you use forms for? Well, the most basic form that you need on a website is a contact form. Of course, you don't need it. You don't have to have it on every website. Some websites have it, other websites don't. But if we were to measure the difficulty of forms, then that is one of the simplest forms, because you have name, email, and a little message box. That's it. If you have a blog, you also have forms that are in the comments of the blog. It's a form technically, but that's built into WordPress. That's built into the system, so you don't really have to do anything about it other than allow or disallow it. But what else can you do with a form? A form can be used to create a survey. It can be used to create an actual application for something. If you run a nonprofit, for example, maybe you have, applications for grants. Maybe you hold money like a fund, and you give people grants from that money. You could create that entire application that you normally have people fill out by pen and paper and fax it in. You can create that with forms. Of course, the benefits of forms should be very apparent. It's digital. People can fill it out on their phone, on their computer, on their tablet. If you do it right, the forms can be saved before you complete them. And when they submit the form, you now have all the information readily available for you to do whatever you need to do with it. You can verify the information. You can store it in a spreadsheet, in a database. You can create reports. You can see, you can easily create reports with all that information. Instead of having to pay somebody to key it in, some data entry, or scan it into a system, hope that the OCR, the optical character recognition system, detects the writing, because most of the time they don't, because some people write really poorly. So the benefits of forms are amazing. So let me tell you about three of the most used forms out there. I've used all three of them. In fact, I use all of them right now in different websites because they vary from budget to budget. Let's start with the absolutely free form that's out there. Very capable. Some people roll their eyes at it because they don't like it. Some developers don't like it, especially if you go to WordPress meetups. But the reality is that people don't like it because they don't understand it. Put that aside, and this form is called Contact Form 7, CF7. You'll find it on the official repository, and it's absolutely free. The form is very capable of doing almost any kind of form that you can imagine, but you do have to read the documentation and figure out how to do it. It's built mostly through codes, so it's not super user-friendly as far as drag and drop and stuff like that. But if you're in a very low budget and you just need some basic forms, or you don't mind getting your hands dirty, Contact Form 7 is amazing. Again, just straight in the WordPress repository. Now the next two are free, but I recommend the paid version. I use both paid versions. Actually, one of them I'm not sure if there's a free version. I've paid for it so long that I don't even think about it. But I'll start with that one, and I'll leave the last one for my favorite. That's my favorite right now, the last one. But so the next one I recommend, and is super popular. Some might argue that is the most popular forms plugin in the environment. You know, that is subject to debate. But it's called Gravity Forms. Gravity Forms is super user-friendly. You can drag and drop fields, very customizable. You can build logic into it, which makes it really, really interesting and really sophisticated if you want to get fancy with your forms. For example, you could have a form that says, check your age, you know, and you have age ranges like 15 to 20, 20 to 30, 30 to 40, whatever. And you can have other fields that are part of the form behave differently based on what people check on other fields. So if somebody checks, for example, their gender and says male, then you can change the form if it has to be specific to gender that is male. Also, you can, you know, for whatever reason you may want to filter out different answers or different options based on input from the user as they go, you can do that. Very, very capable. It's really popular. It's widely supported. There's tons of add-ons. So for example, you can add payment options, you can add survey options, you can add all kinds of options. Very, very good. Very it was my favorite for a very long time. I used it all the time. So that's Gravity Forms. By the way, all the links will be down below, and so you can easily get to them. And the third option, and my favorite right now, is called WP Forms. WP Forms may already be installed in your system. A lot of hosts included in the basic installations, which I don't like that approach, but it may be there for you. I don't know. But that's the very, very light version. So it's limited in capabilities. It's still good enough to do like basic contact forms or generic surveys and stuff. But if you get the paid version, WP Forms is my favorite. It is such a joy to work with. Drag and drop works great. The workflow to create a form is very, very streamlined. You focus first on building the form, then you can build some logic, then you can build some communications around it. So if, say, somebody's submitting a return material authorization request, they want to return a product to you and they have to fill out whatever information is needed, you can have that all be sent to the customer, but also be sent to the returns department and the finance department and maybe the customer support department at the same time, so all people can coordinate their efforts, you know, to fulfill that order or maybe to create reports or whatever it needs to be. You can also have it stored in a database, and you can have reports built in right there on the WordPress website. Again, that's WP Forms, and that's built by my buddy Syed Balki. He's a great guy. I've done some interviews with him about some of the other products that he has. I'll give you the disclaimer that I don't pay for it because I'm an affiliate for them, as I am an affiliate for Gravity Forms as well. Both of them have a return policy. If you don't like it, I forgot what it is, maybe it's 10 days, maybe it's 30 days, but they have satisfaction guarantee. So if you're not sure, go check both of them out. Both of them are in the repository, but to get the premium version and to get really all the powerful features, use the links down below. Well, I just went dark. Just use all the links down below, and that will take you to the premium versions, to the best options available. But that's it for the video for today. I just wanted to show you or tell you about the 3 most popular form plugins in the WordPress universe. That's it for today. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you guys next time. Bye.